Hi, my name is Becky Wilson, and I am in my first year as a digital learning coach at A.L. Stanback Middle School in Hillsborough, after spending the last 11 years as both an English language arts and social studies teacher at both middle and high school levels. A.L. Stanback is a fabulous middle school here in Orange County, serving over 650 students of diverse backgrounds. Roughly 45% of the students are white, with roughly 40% of our students being Hispanic and 10 to 15% of our students African American. Several of our students are newcomers to the United States, coming from places like Guatemala, Puerto Rico, Mexico, El Salvador, and Venezuela. As a result, there are students with a variety of backgrounds and experiences who are often learning new cultural norms in our school. We spend a great deal of time and energy as a staff and as a community creating a school climate that is welcoming and open to people of varied backgrounds, delving into social emotional learning, restorative practices, and appreciating and accepting both those who are like us and those who are not. Orange County is a rural area which has become more diverse as time moves forward. As such, it is imperative for all teachers and students at our school to understand culture and how it impacts our interpretation of those in the world around us. For the cultural theme I would like to articulate during my time in Bavaria. During my time in the classroom, I've always felt it was important to teach my students about issues that shape our world and our reality. For me, an important event which students often have very little specific instruction is the Holocaust. During my first year as an educator, I had the privilege of attending a North Carolina Council on the Holocaust Professional Development about the historical roots of anti-Semitism. The closing part of the workshop was a personal testimony from Mr. Morris Glass, who was a young man during his time in various Nazi camps, mostly in Germany and Poland. I'll never forget his tears as he remembered the last moments he spent with his mother, his father, his siblings, his family, more than 50 years before he told us about it. But the pain was fresh and real, and in that moment, I was compelled to teach students about the power of identity and the right to define who and what we are and what we stand for as human beings. If given the opportunity to research in Munich this summer, I would delve into cultural notions of identity and how power is related to the identities expressed by individuals and how political entities can use identity as a tool of oppression. Looking at specific museums or sites that I might be able to research, I came across a few things in my brief research. I saw the Documentation Center for the History of National Socialism, as well as the Museum of Urban and Contemporary Art, where I'm sure identity would be at the forefront. I saw the Technology Museum, as well as the Munich School of Politics and the Bavarian School of Public Policy. I would also like to see the memorial site at the Dachau concentration camp, as well as the Jewish Museum and Munich University, where White Rose resistance sites and people involved in the White Rose activities often were associated. I would also like to discuss and research modern ideas about refugees and immigration in Bavaria and Munich and how identity is portrayed in that region of the world. In terms of the ideas of how I would like to express this, I would really like to explore some writing and documentary avenues. I've worked with both in my time with National Writing Project, as well as with National History Day that I've worked with students. And I would love to think about the power of juxtaposing images and words as important tools in conveying the messages that are often missed. I think issues of identity are especially open to digital representations because technology allows those who might be on the margins to be recentered as our focus. While many people have studied the Holocaust, I believe it's important to investigate the politics of identity further and to consider the ramifications of allowing identity to become a tool of a political oppression, not only in our past, but also in our present.